did you come from?
I came from England.
Okay. Why did you come over?
My dad, his job transferred, and his company sent a whole group of people over, and so we all came over together, except for my dad's work.
Okay.
My whole family came with us, and then my dad's whole company, so we came with a group of family friends and my godparents, and they all still remain friends. And my pets, of course, my cats came over too. Can't forget them.
What did you bring?
We didn't bring a whole lot. It's hard to transfer all the furniture and stuff, so we pretty much just bought like what we really needed right then, and we bought everything else when we got here. So, yeah.
How did you come over?
We came on a plane, but you have to ship everything over on a boat, all the rest of it. And my mom, who just moved back, that's what she did. She didn't take anything with her. They sold everything except for like clothes and a few other things, like their computers. And then they take that on the plane with them, and then everything else, like their beds, I think they kept like 2 beds, they had to send over on a ship.
Okay.
The process is we came over as
You guys want to hear about this?
as a legal resident alien. Okay, so I'm not a citizen. I didn't become a citizen. We just have a green card, so you have to apply for your green card, show where you're going to work. It's a long process of getting fingerprinted, filling out paperwork, and then they give you a green card. And every, I think it's 7 years, I have to renew that green card.
Okay.
And so that's pretty much the first step. And then eventually my dad became a dual citizen, and so he had to study and take a test and write and go through that process so he could keep both.
Okay.
Did you miss one
The
night?
pets, when you came over, they used to have to be quarantined for 6 months, so you couldn't see them for 6 months. I know. But they changed it because it was so sad leaving them for so long. So now you give them 6 months of shots before they go. So my mom, who has 7 cats, she had to give all of them shots, and they had to get a microchip in between their shoulders so that they could track them, and that's how they scan the cats in and make sure they got all of their shots.
Okay. Do you still wish you lived in England?
I do. I almost went back to school there. I almost went to college there, but I decided not to because I like it here too. But I do, especially since my mom and my sister and my grandma, my whole family's over there, so I miss them.
Friday.
How was it like at school?
School is very different. They wear uniforms and they don't have grades. They take A-level tests, so you have to test in to get to the next grade, like we would here. So kind of like TCAP, but if you didn't do well on TCAP, you couldn't go to the next grade. And the schools are a lot different. They're more like private schools over here. And the testing is a lot different. They test you, and there's a lot of essay questions and not a lot of multiple choice, so it's a lot tougher and faster paced.
Did you dress, act, talk different here?
Yes, I did at one time talk very differently. I had an accent. But every time we went to the grocery store, my mom, who looked a little different, like the clothing is a lot darker. They dress in all black. It just looks a little different than the fashion here. And she had her accent. Every time we go to the grocery store, they'd say, "Where are you from? How long did it take you to get here?" And they'd ask you all the questions you asked me, and it really embarrassed me. So I would practice. My mom said I would listen to everybody, and I practiced talking like they did, so that I felt like I would fit in more.
Okay.
Still going back, it makes you very homesick. I still feel that way. Even though I moved here when I was 9, I went back last April, and I feel very homesick. When I go home, I feel very comfortable, and it feels like I fit in there. So I get very homesick.
Were you scared when you first came to America?
Very. I was very scared that I wouldn't fit in, that I didn't understand a lot of things. a lot of things are just called different. Like we'd call sneakers pumps, and we didn't understand a lot of the things that people were talking about. We didn't have American football, so when people were talking about football, we thought they were talking about soccer. So I was just afraid that I wasn't going to fit in at school. And when I first got here, because the grades and the ages are different in England than when I came here. I started in second grade, but I was the youngest in my class, and that made me very uncomfortable. And so they eventually put me back a grade so that I would just feel more comfortable.